Live from the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob take on Chiefs Kingdom and Mel.
Well,
I'm
there's no
Bob.
Buck.
Yeah, I'm
Can we
Bob.
just change it while he's out to Buck and Mel
Well,
or Bob and Mel?
oh yeah, I was about to say
Mel and Bob.
Bob
I
and
like
Mel
it.
sounds better. Yeah, definitely,
Mm,
definitely Bob and Mel. But I mean, okay, so guys, yeah, Buck's not here this week. He did send us a video of him in Jamaica, so that'll be fun to watch. We're gonna play that on the show. He's on a cruise. He won't be back until Saturday, and he was definitely hoping for a Sunday game. So that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, we got that. We got to talk about a couple different storylines, and then we're gonna talk about the Texans, and that's gonna be the show. So right out here at the start, Mel, I before we really talk about the Texans and stuff, I kind of wanted to go over some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. I don't know if you know this because you weren't on the episode, the last episode, but Matt Nagy uh, and Steve Spagnuolo and uh, our assistant GM Mike Borgonzi are all interviewing all over the place for jobs. Mike Borgonzi, you might not have heard of. He's been with the Chiefs though for 16 years. He's the assistant GM to Brett Veach, and he's a lot more of a big deal than I think a lot of people realize. But he just got called in for the Titans GM job. He got called in for the second interview, so he's made it to the second one. It's him, John Spytek from the Bucks, and then the assistant GM from the Bears, Ian Cunningham.
okay.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about this one because this Brett Veach's right hand guy, and I have a feeling he does a lot more behind the scenes than a lot of us know.
hmm Yeah, I mean, I feel like the league is getting to a point where they're like, listen, guys, we need to come together. We can't let the Chiefs keep doing this. We've got to take some of their people, whether we want them or not. We got to take them, right? Like, I feel like they're just they're frustrated, right? If I mean, we've got a chance to three-peat, and we haven't looked good, and that kills them. And Veach somehow keeps making these trades. And I don't know how much this other guy has or is involved in those and whatnot, but
Yeah,
I
he
think we
got hired
do.
on when Pioli first came here. Isn't that
I
crazy?
just feel like, yeah, that is nuts. And I feel like that means he's loyal and he's going to stay with us. But if he doesn't, I feel like as long as we have Reed and Mahomes and Beach, I feel like we can fill in the other pieces. Now we might it'll hurt, right? Like I think especially Spags. If Spags goes, it'll really hurt. But
That's what I was gonna say. Like I could get rid of Matt Nagy, but if Spags goes, that's a huge hit. I mean,
yeah.
the offensive coordinator is important. I don't do what a lot of Chiefs fans do and say that they're basically non-existent. They are very important. We've seen the difference between a Matt Nagy offensive coordinator uh, and a Eric Bieniemy. There's definitely proof in the pudding there. There's years on both sides that just show you definitely Eric was better. But the defensive coordinator, like that's where it really gets scary. Like losing Spags would be horrible.
Yeah, losing Spags scares me. I do think we can find somebody else. I just feel like we rely on Spags so much and he takes it so well of like we're not going to give you a lot, and I want you to do everything with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not going to get the draft picks you want. You're not going to get we're not going to trade for these massive people for you. But somehow every year he pulls together a team that figures it out. And this year we've struggled more on covering the deep ball, but I feel like we
With
also had no idea who was going to be our third corner or our second corner coming out of preseason. He was like, somebody's got to step up. Like,
somebody did. We're going to talk about that player, Jalen Watson, later on in the show because we have some exciting news about him. He definitely did step up. It was definitely the front runner. But you're right. That was something I was going to bring up later on in the show. All through training camp, we were looking for that second corner to step up, and Jalen Watson just made a huge jump. But we'll talk about him later. So right now, if Spags leaves, I think I might cry. Actually
I
cry.
think yeah, I agree, but I think we'll invest a good amount of money in a defensive coordinator
Yeah, but
to come.
it just depends on who's available, like
Yeah.
would have been great if Vrabel didn't get a head coaching offer to the Patriots because he would have been a great defensive coordinator to have.
Yeah.
And, he spent the year not coaching a team. So he might have, if there wasn't a head coaching job out there, he might have went ahead and just taken the job. But I don't know, man. There's that'll be a huge loss. I don't know that he wants to do it. I mean, he went to was it the Bears that Spagnuolo? I'm blanking now. Was it the Bears that Spagnuolo
I have
coached
no idea.
when he was a head coach? I think it was the Bears. I'm not sure, but either way, he went in
The
coached
Rams.
Rams. That's it, Rams. He was the head coach for 2 seasons, and I think the lesson that he learned when he took that job is you don't just take any head coach job. Like that's
Right.
a trap. So hopefully there isn't a really good opportunity. I mean,
Who's he
I
interviewing with?
I hate to hold him back. You don't even want to know. You don't even want to know. I mean, the Jets was one of them. The Jaguars was one of them. But the one that I just makes my blood curdle and the hair on the back of my neck stand up and gives me nightmares at night is the Raiders. Interviewed him too. Can you imagine the Raiders taking him on as head coach and him knowing so much about Patrick Mahomes? Oh
No.
God. That sounds like a
Yeah.
nightmare.
No, he won't do that to us. He
Oh,
would. I mean, if it's the right move, it's the right move. But the Raiders, like, I'd even be okay if he went to the Broncos or the Chargers, but like the Raiders, don't do that to
I don't
yourself,
want him to.
Spags.
Yeah, I don't want him to go
It's
to
just
any of
horrible.
them. I don't want him to go to any of them at all. And the Raiders, anywhere in our division scares the crap out of me. But I feel like he's only going to take the job if it's an actual good opportunity. Because if not, then he just goes on and he's a failed head coach twice. That's
Yeah.
so. The Jets don't seem like a good fit if I'm looking at the team. Like I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers and being like, no, yeah.
How long is Aaron Rodgers signed for? Do you even know?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he's still signed for next year.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's a great quarterback. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it seems like there's a whole lot of extra baggage that might come along with that, and he's old. So hopefully That's not a case. The Raiders, I don't know how the Raiders are doing on cap uh, and
Do
draft.
coaches go into the cap? They don't, right?
No. Coaches, coordinators, and all of that don't go into the cap. That's
Yeah.
one of the areas you could spend a lot more. That's what the Chiefs are doing. They're spending a lot on their coordinators, coaches, GMs.
I
Like,
remember Veach saying something about that they've paid Spags and, he's happy and all of that. But I think he came out recently and said he would be potentially interested in taking another head coaching job, right?
yes,
Like before
yes.
he had said no, he didn't like,
A couple years ago, yeah. Like when he,
yeah.
when the head coaching stuff, it was in recent memory. But yeah, that's why I don't think any of the teams. Jaguars scares me a little bit, but I don't think any of the teams really have, I don't know, the pulling power of we have a, I mean, yeah, the Jaguars do have a good quarterback, but still, like, there's a lot of problems there. The Jets, and it's New York. That's a tough place to be in the media and everything else. Like, especially after you've come from the
Is he
Chiefs
from New York?
organization family. Yeah, but it's just a really tough media. I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna get eaten up by fans. Like, they aren't kind Midwesterners like we are. They're New Yorkers.
Yeah, I feel like though there'd be a little bit of a desire to kind of go back home to and coach for your team that you were from. I feel like
Well, I
that
mean,
could
he
be
won a Super
enticing.
Bowl as a coordinator for the Giants. So, I mean, he's
Mm.
definitely, definitely loves New York. You could hear it when he talks.
I know.
You could hear the accent in there.
That's the only reason I knew he was from New York, to be honest. Um, yeah, that one worries me the most. I think Nagy will recover from for sure. The assistant GM, I'm sure he does a lot behind the scenes, but I do think that Veach is likely the brains behind that operation. And I think it would set us back a little bit, but I think Veach could find somebody else.
Yeah,
But Spags is going to be
yeah.
a tough.
Mike Borgazzi, basically the majority of what he does, from what I understand, is basically uh, scouting, and we've hit on a lot.
Yeah, we're really
So
good at that. Yeah.
yeah, it seems like he's pretty good at what he
I
does.
mean, to
And
be honest, he probably spoon feeds a lot of the information to Veach, right? Like he's
oh
probably
yeah,
like, here's exactly what I see, here's exactly what to do, and Veach, may or may not agree with him, but I'm sure he's giving him all that information. It's just, can we find somebody else who can do that? It is a little scary. I think that's scarier than we probably realize,
yeah,
but
exactly. It's
I have
like
faith.
what you don't know,
Yeah,
like
I have faith. If we have Reed and Mahomes and Veach, I do feel like we can fill out the other pieces just like we have this year, right? Like, we didn't have a lot of receivers and we somehow filled out the other pieces. You've got to think, if we three-peat too, come on.
All right,
People will
so
just want to come.
the one last thing I wanted to talk about before we go to Buck's video here is so DeAndre Hopkins. Remember, we've talked about it. I don't know which shows you were on or not, but I've talked about it multiple times after games, being like, why aren't they incorporating him more? Because we had heard, as far as I knew, all we knew about the conditional trade is that uh, is that uh, the the what's it called? So it was a
We
potential
heard it was a
fourth
fourth or a fifth
round
round,
pick or
right?
a fifth. But we heard
Yeah.
if we, like, all I heard was that if it if we made it to the Super Bowl, it became a 4th-round pick, and
Mm.
if we, that was all I heard. But it turns out what the actual deal was uh, if DeAndre Hopkins played 60% of regular season snaps after the trade and 60% of playoff snaps, then it would turn into a 4th-round pick. I knew there was something going on, so he saw 49% usage in the regular season, therefore negating the possibility of it being a 4th-round pick. So now it's a 5th-round pick, and I'm like, okay, that makes so much more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it had to be something, but yeah, so we got that turned into a 5th. So I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a lot more looks here in the playoffs here. I thought that was pretty brilliant by them to be able to get by without overusing him, and Worthy and
I mean,
Noah
get by or
Gray.
squeak by? We kind of squeaked by, like, I don't know if it was like, we just breezed through, right? Like, every game was a little squeaker, but we did it. And yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, a 4th versus a 5th-round pick, I think, is a significant enough difference that if we'd given him 10 more steps, not, maybe we would have had to give up the 4th, right?
Yep. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, pretty good though. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of hit on those two things before we talked about the game coming up, just because I thought those were interesting, and the coaching stuff scares me to death. But hey, we have a video message from our on-cruise correspondent, Buck. Buck is in Jamaica right now. So just, all the cards on the table right there. This is what Buck's got to say.
Shit, dude. But just found out. Damn it. Just found out the Chiefs kickoff on Saturday at 3:30. And it looks like Buck is probably going to miss, damn it, a little part of the game, maybe all of it. I don't even have a chance to set my DVR at this point. So I'm kind of counting on one of the fans out there to be able to share it, or let me come to your house and watch the recording. Hopefully Bob can record it for me and I can watch it. That breaks my heart. But from what I saw this weekend, the Texans absolutely took care of the Chargers.
See what happened. Let me tell you, though.
There were a lot of good games this week. The Bills look scary as hell. What do you think, Thomas? What do you think the Bills look like? Is it their year?
I don't know, man. I'm worried about Josh Allen. The dude is the stud.
Everybody is worried about Josh Allen. He is a stud. He's like the stud among studs, almost. He's so good. And I just go back to what I said a few weeks ago. We really need to have a spy on Josh Allen, especially late in the 4th quarter. Lamar Jackson, I'm not sure how it's all going to go down, but it is going to be a great playoffs. I just hope I don't miss too much of that first game. But we've met a lot of great Chiefs fans here on this cruise. We've met a lot of great Lions fans on this cruise. We've met 1 or 2 great Commanders fans on this cruise. Bills Mafia showed up, too. We couldn't even get a spot in the bar to watch it. It was crazy. But 2024 NFL playoffs are just crazy. This is the best year ever, and I don't know if it's because this is the year we started the podcast or if it really is just that amazing. But go Chiefs. How about those Chiefs? Miss you, Bob and Mel.
All right. So, yep. You didn't really give us anything on the game coming up, which is what I was kind of hoping for if he was going to send us stuff. But I mean, yeah. I mean, he did,
Listen, that outfit though.
and the beads in his beard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
A
my
plus.
God. It's
Fuck. A
great, isn't it?
plus.
It's great.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, just going from his video, let's just the beauty of what's happened in the playoffs here is that the Bengals are the Bengals. Sorry, guys. I'm still thinking about you if that makes you feel better.
That is the beauty of it, is that the Bengals didn't make it.
No, but it's that it's that Baltimore has to take on Buffalo, and
Yeah, I know.
we don't even have to play one of the teams. Who would you rather play?
Listen, last year we already showed that we could beat both of them to get to the Super Bowl and win. So this year we just felt like we needed to take it a little bit easier, let them take each other out, and then play one of them. Who would I rather play? Probably Baltimore, to be honest. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just feel like Baltimore, I don't know, because they've got Derrick Henry too. I'm just more scared of Josh Allen, to be honest. Like,
I am too, and everybody else has been saying Lamar Jackson, and I'm like, dude, Lamar,
he is scary. Like, I'm not
he's
saying
scary
he's not.
physically. He just doesn't have football IQ, man, and he chokes in big situations. So I just don't
Okay,
see why
I'm not
everybody's so like Luke, my cousin, called me up, and I'm gonna have to eat crow, but. I think the Bills are going to beat the Ravens. But the Bills did suffer a lot of injuries. I don't know how the Ravens got out of there without the injuries. Goes to show you how important that bye is. But I just don't get why everybody's so scared of Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen. And saying Lamar's done better. I was watching my all chiefed up guys. I love them to death, but I just do not agree with the take that Lamar Jackson has played better than Josh Allen this year. Lamar Jackson has a billion more weapons than Josh Allen, so I just don't get that take.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing is that Josh Allen is kind of a one-man show over there in the Bills. And I know he's not actually. They've got some good players, but it seems like Josh Allen has some of that Mahomes magic where he'll just make a play when he needs to, right? I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like Lamar Jackson can make a play when he needs to, but he gets overzealous and starts trying to make too many plays, and then they become predictable, right? And I think last year they got a lot of flack for not running it more against us. And I'm hoping this year they come in and just try to run it the whole time and just get shut down completely and then get really frustrated because I think we're more likely to get the Ravens off of their game than we are the Bills. I think the Bills will Josh Allen will keep that team in the game the entire game, right? I think the Ravens we have more of a chance of like getting up early or coming back or stopping the run or something and them having to modify their game plan and that really throwing them off. I just don't see that happening to the Bills. I feel like the Bills would react better than the Ravens, and that scares me more.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just yeah. I don't know. But I don't know. Do you tell us in the comments what you think? Who are you more scared of, Josh Allen uh you don't even have to say scared. Who do you think's better, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
I don't think that's fair. No, no, no. Don't say who do you think is better. I think it's better to say who would you rather play because the whole team comes into that discussion, right?
See, but some people would say I'd rather play the better one. So then we don't really get an accurate view of who they think's
Who do you
better.
think we have a better chance of winning against?
Okay. All right. Give you that.
I
Uh,
think either one is going to be a tough game because we really struggle against running quarterbacks, and they're both running quarterbacks. So no matter what, if we beat the Texans, we're going to have to face a running quarterback, and that we need a better game plan for that. But maybe we've just been keeping all of our running quarterback plays, defensive plays, just in their back pocket so that we can pull them out in the playoffs. Maybe that's what's happening.
Well, we did play. We did play pretty vanilla on a lot of the stuff, and then even the game against the Texans last time, we secured the game and then played the last half vanilla. Because we didn't want to show them more than we needed to. That's why the score looks like it was actually somewhat manageable. But we kicked the crap out of the Texans the last time we played them. The score doesn't show how not close it really was. It's just we didn't want to show them anything else. That's a testament to Andy Reid and how he runs the team. Whereas the Broncos, pulled out every single stop because they were scared that even our backups might come back on them in week 18, right? They should have stopped, just like Reid stopped halftime against the Texans. They shouldn't have shown all of their tricks, and they might not have gotten just whomped this last weekend.
So we played the Texans just a couple weeks ago.
Yep, we whooped them.
I didn't realize that, actually. I don't remember that game.
Oh, you
Pretty
do.
sure I was on the show afterwards.
You do remember that game. Just think knee cap bone popping out.
Ugh. Okay, yeah.
Tank
Okay.
Dell.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
How is he? I need to look him up.
I mean, he's okay, but he's definitely out for the season, maybe even next season. We don't know. But
Man.
sad for him. But
Yeah.
yeah, so the next thing I have is we got our news on what ref we're gonna have. We're gonna have Clay Martin to officiate. So we're having Clay Martin's team. He's been doing it for about a decade now. He's been really good. Seems to be really fair. On top of that, the Chiefs are 6-0 when he officiates the games. So feeling pretty good about the refs, feeling pretty good.
Okay. They're 6-0. Is that this year?
No,
time?
it's all time.
Okay. How many? Okay. If it was this year, I'd be like, all right, well, we only lost one game. That's not really fair. I bet a lot of refs are 6-0 with us. But all time, yeah. Okay. I don't know who this is. I'd have to look him up, see what his picture looks like.
Yeah, you'd have. I put a picture of him in the notes. You would definitely recognize him. Very stern looking.
Oh.
He's a high school principal in his day job. Seems like a good guy.
That sounds like a miserable job, but kudos to him.
What do you think about Kelce? Think Kelce's gonna have a big game here? Because he went on the Pat McAfee show and he said during his interview he's feeling 22.
Is he though? I feel like he's feeling 22 right now, and he's gonna get out there, and I'm sure he'll have a good game. But I think Kelce will have a good game if we need Kelce to have a good game. You have to remember we've got some other players now. So we've got Hopkins, we've got Hollywood, we've got Worthy, and it's not all on Kelce like it kind of was last year, Kelce and Rice, right? So we've got more people now that I think Kelce always comes through with the plays when we need them, and he's going to be a reliable option. I think if he has a rock star game, I think it's because other people are covered and they're, trying to get. I don't know. I feel like it's more likely that he'll have a good game than a rock star game, just because of the other people that we have on the field.
I think so. It could go either way because I feel like he's just been coasting, and I feel like he's that vet player. And this is the last couple years. It's just got me thinking this, but he's kind of in cruise control during the season, and then when playoffs come out, beast mode comes out, and the beard comes out. Like at the start of the season, well, at the start of the season, he's always El Trovador with the stash, and then he shaves it off, and then in playoffs, he's beast mode with the beard, and the beard is already looking stacked. Like I wish I could grow a beard like that. Oh, but I think he turns it on, dude. I think he turns it on here, and
I think he does too. I just don't know. Like, you also have to remember, like, we have to get past this game 100%. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy to get past this game. I know Houston's going to bring everything they've got. And I think if we need Travis, he's going to be there. I think he'll give 110% in the playoffs. I think he's been giving, not, I guess, like 80%, right? In the other games, trying to conserve some energy for the playoffs. But next week, we'll really need him if we get past this game.
I'm hoping he's only been going at 40%, because I would really like him to bring it up. This has been a crazy bad stat season for Kelce, but
don't you think you get to that point in your career where you're not as worried about the stat? Like, you've already proven that you can do the stats, right? And now it's more about, if I win another Super Bowl, that stat is so much more important than any regular season stat. And if I get a three-peat and I get to play in that game, that stat is the most meaningful stat that you can have, right?
Well, and it's kind of sad that the postseason stats and stuff don't go into your regular season stats. I don't know how they would incorporate that, but like, I mean, if you look at him, he's far greater than Tony Gonzalez because of just so much playoff stats. I mean, Tony played, probably 5 years longer than Travis has played now. I think maybe
no, I
4
think
or
it's like
5
an
years.
insane amount of years longer. It's more than that. Like,
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but either way, if you look at Travis Kelce's postseason stats compared to Tony's, I mean, we're talking about two completely different players, and then if you think about the Chiefs over the last 6 years, the Chiefs have played more games than any team in football. And Travis has been on that team the entire time. I mean, Travis has played an extra 2 seasons.
yeah, he's played 5. Tony Gonzalez played for 17 seasons, and Travis is on his 12th.
I said
So 5
5,
more
didn't
years.
I? I said 5.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
I just remember when Travis heard that, he was like, "Oh my God, there is no way."
Yep. I think Tony was also younger when he came into the league too.
Yeah,
Travis.
he was. But I agree to a certain extent that I think Travis definitely turns it up in the playoffs, and he's had a lot more success in the playoffs. But at the same time, that shouldn't diminish what Tony was able to do on a team that maybe wasn't as successful at getting into the playoffs and the postseason. You know what I mean? So I think it's, to me, Travis not padding his regular season stats is just like him being a grown up, and him.
Also, Tony never had a cheetah on his team. taken, like Tony was the passing receiver on the Chiefs for almost
100%.
a
Yeah.
decade. Like he was,
Yeah.
what Kelce
I don't
was.
even
What
remember
year
any
was
other
it when
receivers.
Kelce just basically was everything for us? I can't remember what year, but like that was Tony's entire career, and that's probably why he didn't retire here. He's probably mad because we never, really went to, any great heights. But yeah, I think last year he had 32 receptions on 37 targets. That's freaking sick. He only missed 5 of them. 355 yards, 3 TDs. That was his stats last postseason. Now he'll have one less game this postseason, so but like still, that's an average of 10 receiving TDs and or 10 receiving receptions and over 100 yards per game. So I think we might see it just because of Hollywood Brown, D-Hop, and Worthy out there, right? I think teams might kind of like I think this is the game where Travis might actually really blow up, and then the rest of the games,
sleep on.
I think they may sleep on
a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And so at that point, Travis might have a huge game, and then we go back like everybody's trying to pick who's going to be the X factor in the game, and it's whoever doesn't get doubled. It's
for sure.
We have so many good. It's crazy to think about the receiving core right now compared to what we had right after Rashee Rice got hurt. I mean, even before, because Rashee Rice, like, Worthy was not the Worthy he is now. Worthy's become a man. He's become a man this season.
Yeah, and then Hollywood was hurt, and
which just
then we got
sucks, 'cause
Hopkins.
I was so excited
and then
with Hollywood. Ugh.
Right, but I feel like it's always been like we've had 1, maybe 2 in there, and now we've got almost our full package. I mean, if we had Rice, it'd be nutty. But
Dude, if we had Rice, it would be absurd.
Yeah.
Absurd.
I'd be a lot less
We'd be
worried.
like, Justin Watson, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to sit on the sideline and cheer us on. But we love you, buddy.
Oh, God.
And then Juju'd be like, see, although I give Justin Watson all kinds of shit, but he does do a lot. If you actually watch the whole film, watch all the different angles, you'd be surprised at how much that dude blocks and does the extra stuff that is the unsung heroes of different offenses. And so does Juju, but Juju just does it better. Like, Juju can actually, like, he's they both do the same job blocking, right? But Juju does it in a possession receiver type of way. Watson does it in a deep threat type of way. But they're both oftentimes utilized as basically a downfield blocker and somebody to draw coverage off. So he does have a key point. Like, you put, a ton of stars. Like, say, for instance, you put Jamar Chase is amazing, right? But you put 4 Jamar Chases on the field, and your football team falls apart. A lot of people don't understand this type of thing because you need your other wideouts and stuff to do dirty jobs, and high class receivers like that oftentimes turn their nose up at dirty jobs, and we have a really good, like, D-Hop doesn't do that. He, works hard for the blocking, I haven't seen enough of Hollywood yet to say that he does that, and Worthy's just too small to do it. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
it's it's definitely an unsung hero type of thing, and something we don't talk about a lot, when we're talking about the games.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's, in general, we miss the support players that make the plays possible, right? And that's sad, but
Yep. And King Jamie the Mad in chat. What's up, brother? Says it's about to be crazy fun. The guys are gonna open up the book. Big Red, the chess grandmaster, waits till playoffs to show any good stuff and has a different game. I think he meant to say game plan for all of these coaches and teams, and I think he's definitely right. I think we've seen that year in and year out. I think it's the mistake he made when he was in Philadelphia by showing too much during the regular season and not realizing that just getting through those games and then pulling the rabbit out of the hat was the way to do it. And I think he's, I'm happy we got him on his second run,
for sure.
All right. So next up, we got injury report, and man, I am really worried. Okay, so first off, Juwan Taylor is questionable with the knee. I'm not too worried about that. Like Wanye Morris will come in to the right tackle spot. I really think Sua Mataia can do it too. I'm not really worried about Juwan Taylor, but Chris Jones is on the list of questionables.
Nah.
Yeah? What?
I don't know. I don't buy it that Chris Jones won't be out there. I feel like he's had plenty of time to rest, and he's on the injury report just as a maybe he won't play ploy. Like, he's gonna play. He's gonna play. There's no way.
All right. Well, the one thing that does make me feel better, though, is that he didn't play week 17, and we had our best pressure. If it wasn't the best game pressure-wise, it was the second best game pressure-wise of the entire season. And we did it without him on the field. So I'm feeling really good about that. Although,
how good is the Broncos offensive line?
Broncos?
Isn't that the game you're talking about?
Oh, okay. No. I'm talking about Steelers. The Broncos, we got our ass handed to us by our backups playing and barely did anything. No.
Oh, he didn't play the week before that?
Yeah, he didn't play against the Steelers. And that's where it was just like, oh, okay. We actually had our best defensive line performance that game of the entire year. I don't know if it's just because things are coming to fruition or, it's definitely not because he's not doing stuff, because if you look at his stats over this year, he's got he has 38 pressures, which is the sixth most in the NFL, and the second most among interior defensive linemen. So he's sixth, but there's a whole bunch of edge rushers that are there on the list with him. Yeah, so it's just he's been really good. So I'm not saying that we don't need him. I'm just saying we had our best performance in the last real game of the season, because week 18 wasn't a real game, and he wasn't
week
there.
17, I think you're adding a week. We have
17 games, 18 weeks, one bye for each team. I'm not adding anything.
Okay.
Yeah, that just happened this year. If it makes you feel any better.
Yeah.
Like we went from 16 games to 17 games.
Okay.
Oh, so yeah. So do you feel comfortable if he doesn't play?
I feel okay if he doesn't play this week. I feel very uncomfortable if he doesn't play next week.
Same. Yeah, I feel okay if he doesn't play this week. Next person on the list is Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco is also questionable. Now, Isaiah hasn't played for, he did. Did he play against the Steelers? Is that the one he got knocked up? I think that's the one he got beat up. That's when he got injured was on the Steelers. No. Well, yeah, I think it was the Steelers. He got the rib thing, and then so he didn't get any play time week 18 either.
6 attempts versus the Steelers.
Yeah, so he injured it during the Steelers. I hope he's just come back from his other injury and he's had enough time to rest. I think they might have brought him back too soon. I'm hoping that he, can actually, come in and look like Pop here, in this final stretch of the postseason.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. Like, I guess the injuries don't concern me as much because I think they would have played the last game if we would have needed that last game to get into the playoffs. And like all of these, like Chris Jones' calf, like I think he was resting it, but I think he would have found a way to play. I don't think it was that injured. You know what I mean? And then now we've had multiple weeks for them to.
The doctors that looked at his injury said if he's brought back too soon, he could basically lose all power, all pushing power. Like your calf is pretty important for,
No,
driving.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little worried about it, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal if he doesn't play, believe it or not. But I do think on the next page here, other questionable Chiefs that are key: Trent McDuffie, knee questionable. Chamari Connor, knee questionable. Jalen Watson, lower leg questionable. Jalen Watson is back from IR. Andy said he has a definite chance to play this week. Probably not going to play all of the snaps, but that's good news. But I didn't even know Trent McDuffie was hurt. And that had that's our 3 top corners. That's the 3 best corners on the team.
Yeah,
and I'm not
I
talking
just
about
feel like
safeties,
I need
guys.
more information. I need more information about this. Your screenshot doesn't give me enough information.
Yeah.
Like, I need to know if they practiced, if they were limited in practice. Like, I'm looking at
Chiefs.com will tell you that if you need to know it. I can tell you Jalen Watson did practice Tuesday, January 14th. He did practice today. I don't know about McDuffie. Not sure. But that has me scared to death because
McDuffie was full practice. Chamari Connor was full practice, full participation. Chris Jones was full participation. Jalen Watson was full participation.
Wait, did you say Chris Jones already? Did I miss it?
Yeah, he was full participation.
Okay, so maybe I'm
only
blowing it
limited
up.
participation. Yeah, the only limited participation was McCole Hardman, who's on IR. everybody else on the injury list was a full participant in practice
Well,
today.
he's not on IR anymore. He's off of IR on his 21-day deal. You
Pardon me?
can't. Yeah, you can't practice if you're on IR.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I wonder if we'll bring him back. If we bring him back, then Nico Remigio goes on waivers and could be picked up by somebody. That'd be horrible. All right, so what do we need to win against the Texans?
I have no idea. I don't remember the Texans at all. I don't usually do this show. I don't have to talk about the other team.
Yeah, you don't normally do the pre-show. So something I could tell you about the Texans that'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable is that the Stroud, their starting QB, has taken 52 sacks this year. That's the second most in the NFL. So
How many has Mahomes taken?
I don't know, but I don't think it's
110?
I don't think it's number one. But Mahomes, I think, is in the top 5 or at least the top 10. But yeah, Stroud's taken a lot of sacks, so I think we can get a lot of pressure going on in this game. The problem is that he does get those deeper balls off like quite often, and that was their only bright spot when they played us the last time. So I don't know.
Mahomes has been sacked 36 times.
Yeah. So, and think about us thinking like, oh my gosh, that's so much. Now think about Stroud. I didn't even realize Stroud had been sacked that many times. It's kind of a testament to him that he's been able to stay, healthy and still, has the nerve to throw. But the scarier part of the Texans for me is definitely Joe Mixon. Had him on my fantasy team this year.
Do you feel like, though, Stroud's gotten sacked that many times? I feel like that's almost his immaturity, too, though. I feel like there's a definite world that Mahomes gets sacked 125 times this season, but he's able to somehow get the ball off, right? And somehow get out of the pocket or something like that. I wonder if Stroud, that's just his, newness and immaturity of an NFL player that, he waits a little bit longer than he should before throwing it away or, things like that.
Well, I also think that he came out like a monster last year, but once you have a year of tape on the board, that's when you really find out the what cloth your quarterback was cut from. And I remember the second year Mahomes was coming in, I was like, yeah, I just hope he stays a student of the game because he's going to have to change because everybody's going to know how to stop him this year. And, he did change, it did, evolve. So, but Joe Mixon, their running back, has me a little bit scared. He's a 1,000-yard rusher this year. He's also had 309 receiving yards, 4.1 average, 12 TDs. I mean, he is a beast. He helped my fantasy team quite a bit this year. But I mean, we were the 5th best rush stopper in the NFL last year. So, or this year, I guess I'd say last year just because technically the season's over. But this season, we were the number 5 rushing defense. And honestly, we faced a lot of rushing quarterbacks that really kind of kind of boosted that stat. We're probably the second best rushing defense if we're actually talking about stopping running backs. So
Yeah, I feel like we have gone against our fair share of amazing rushers and been okay. So I'm not as worried about Mixon. I think Spags will game plan for Mixon. I'm confident that he'll get some yards, but I don't think he'll have a breakout game. So yes, I'm sure he's going to be a factor, but I don't know. I'm more worried about the deep passes because we've struggled with those significantly
I think
with their
I think
quarterback crew.
yeah, you don't I don't think we've struggled with it as much as you actually would think. Like a lot of other teams struggle with it a lot more. It's pretty rare when we have a deep one thrown on us, and that's why it seems so impactful. But
Because they're always caught.
yeah, they are. They definitely are put on the money,
They're
which is a
freaking
little bit
wide open.
yeah, which is a little bit annoying for sure. But yeah, okay. Well, the last thing that I have to throw out there is the official depth chart was put out, and DJ Humphries is the starting left tackle. However, Andy still said in his presser Tuesday, the 14th of January, that he's still not sure. They're still swapping them out, Tootie and Humphreys, and kind of seeing. So we don't know exactly who's going to play. A lot of people are really pushing. I mean, it's kind of 50-50. A lot of people are pushing for Tootie. A lot of people are pushing for Humphreys to get the start at left tackle. I don't know where I'm at this point with it, but where are you at?
You have to start Humphreys. Like, I also know, you have to take with a grain of salt what you hear at the press conferences, because I do think that Andy's not going to confirm who's going to start at left tackle for the Houston Texans to 100% know who's going to be that person that they need to prepare for, right? So he's not going to say that if he doesn't have to. And there's still question behind it. So he's like, yeah, let's lean into that, right? But I think you have to start Humphreys. There's zero question in my mind as to why you would start Tooney, because you can always move to Tooney. You're not going to move to Humphreys mid playoffs, right? Like, if Humphreys isn't doing well, you can switch things up and move to Tooney.
You can pivot.
Yeah, and that gives you that option. If things don't go well and Tooney struggles, which I mean, I think he's serviceable at that left tackle position, so I think it would be fine. But you're also giving up so much from his expertise at left guard that it's not worth it. And I think we haven't given Humphreys enough chance as fans, I think, to know whether or not he's an impactful left tackle for us. There's always going to get plays where people get by. Like, that's a thing.
Humphreys, for me, passes the neck test. Like, his neck is thicker than his jaw. Like, if you look at pictures, his neck is thicker than his jaw. And that tells me that's one beefy, tough dude, right?
Maybe nobody taught him how to take pictures, Chin out, Humphreys. Chin out. Come on. But, yeah, I mean,
for
I
anybody
think
that doesn't know, when you're taking a picture, it's what they tell models. You'll feel stupid doing it, but push your chin way out, smile, like you'll get way better pictures rather than all my pictures where I'm like triple chins.
Don't give away trade secrets.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm with you where I think Humphreys needs to get the start. I'm just worried just because I would have been a lot happier if we had gotten him earlier in the season, or if he just hadn't gotten injured that first game, we could have got him a little more reps. I'm just worried. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal for sure. I think him being able to play, like, he got hurt in his first game, right? That he came back or that he played for us.
yep.
So really, and then he played against with the whole line of second string and lack of communication, right? Like, so last week's game, I feel like we can't judge Humphreys too harshly on. I saw one clip on YouTube about this play where it looked like Humphreys just completely missed his mark, but it was actually like P. Ryan picked the player and he like pushed him outside of Humphreys' like zone, which was, like I don't think P. Ryan did anything wrong. I think it was just a miscommunication between the two of them, but that's not necessarily on Humphreys. Maybe it is, but I think there's more to the story than that. And I think having these last few weeks to practice with the team, I think will probably help quite a bit. And getting him back to healthy, I think there's no question to me that Humphreys is the start unless something happened these last couple weeks that he's not 100%.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that we shouldn't pivot later on. Like, if it's not going well, keep Mahomes safe. Like, that's my number one priority. But our run game, I think, will be better if we have Tooney at guard. And I'm looking forward to that. And that'll help Mahomes as well.
Yeah. Well, and then the last thing I really have is so the last time we played the Texans, right? It was at their house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think them coming here, I think Stroud has no idea what he is in for when it comes to Chiefs Kingdom. I think we destroy him with the crowd. I think the crowd just really makes it hard for him, completely hard. And that's like basically the last thing I have to say about it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if Stroud's ever played in Arrowhead, but definitely not in the playoffs. And I think that it's going to be an experience for him, which I'm excited about. We're back to the Arrowhead Invitational. We went on the road one year, decided that wasn't for us. So inviting people back this year. But,
Yep.
I think it's going to be an experience for him. And we'll see how he does with it.
All right. All right.
Kinda like sink or swim time, Stroud,
Yep. Definitely. And then the very last thing that I have here on my list
Your
is
third very last thing.
well, this is the very, 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 very last thing. So we have a call in number, guys. It's 816-866-1066. Call in on your drive to work. Call in, tell us what you think, ask us questions, tell us we're idiots about whatever. Just fun. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I might not use it on the show if you're really belligerent, but if you're just enough belligerent and it's funny, I will play it. So, it's 816-866-1066. We have a voicemail from Jeremy that we're going to play to end the show out.
Hey, guys. It's Jeremy here. I know I've been calling a lot here lately, asking you guys questions and things like that, but I might have asked this question before, but you guys were talking about something and it made me think of Jared McKinnon for whatever reason, I don't know, but I think I asked what happened to him, why did we get rid of him? I don't even think he was with us more than a year. I don't remember him being on the team more than a year except for winning that one Super Bowl with him. So can you guys fill me in on why we got rid of him or where he went? Because I have no idea. All right. Thanks. I appreciate it. Bye.
Well, McKinnon. Didn't we have him for more years? I feel like we did, but
We have for
yeah, he was with us from
at least 3.
2021 to 2023.
Yeah. So 3 years. He's okay. So we would have kept him. I mean, he sported the number 1 jersey while he was here. Worthy took that over this year. He was a great like third down running back, but he retired, man. At least he wasn't on a team for 2024. He was 32. I think he's 33 this year. He's 32 or 33.
32 right now.
Yeah, so I mean he's just older player and just quit. Yeah, he
won
was
2
a
Super
great.
Bowls with us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he was
kind
a
of like
great player. But
yeah, I mean, he was a niche player too, though. You know what I mean? It's not like he was like
we got P. Ryan to replace him, basically. I mean that was the role that he played.
For
so
sure.
yeah, so we didn't really get rid of him as the fact that he just stopped playing.
Yeah. But yeah, he won 2 Super Bowls with us, so he was definitely it's kind of like a Hardman, kind of a niche player that Andy Reid just does a really good job of finding a way to really incorporate them and make them work. If I'm thinking about it right, am I crazy about that?
He was basically our third down running back. I mean, in the 2022
He's a tinier guy though, right?
Super Bowl, I mean, he was not tiny, but in the 2022 Super Bowl, I think was the one that, not last Super Bowl, but the one before, I think he had a huge play towards the end of the game that basically like helped us seal the deal. And then he didn't play a ton 2023. I think he was hurt for a lot of it.
Yeah, he didn't play a ton 2023. He played 12 games, but he just didn't have a huge role.
Yeah,
and then I think he just retired. But 2022 was definitely his
he had 56 receptions that year. Like it was nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a long career prior to that, being kind of a backup and a niche player for, he started with the Vikings for 4 years, then played 1 year at the Niners, and then came to us and, really was a great player.
For 2 years and then with the Niners for a year, which, kind of sucks for him. But yeah, at least he ended his run with 2 Super Bowls, right?
Yep.
It's a way to go out.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the show, guys. Don't forget to follow us everywhere. Buckandbob.com. That's BUKNBOB.com. Find out all of our links. If you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, do whatever that site tells you to do. Share, like, leave a comment. All of those things help. Chat was kind of quiet tonight, but we're doing it on a weird night. We're doing it on a Tuesday night. Mel's going out of town tomorrow. Buck's in Jamaica, Mon, and I wasn't going to do the show by myself tomorrow, although maybe sometime I will. It'll be weird, but it'll be like a 10-minute show. If you guys have ever tried to do a podcast solo, that's tough. It's really tough. But yeah, so Mel, want to tell the people where they could find you?
Yep. Maybe here after the divisional round. Maybe. If we lose, you might not see me.
Oh, you have to come on if we lose still.
I'm kidding. And we won't lose. So it'll be fine.
And you can find me on X at blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. Guys, we're going to get out of here. This was another great show. Another great show. No, you don't.
Bye.
You don't agree?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was. Sorry, you cut out a little bit on
Really?
my side.
Ah, Okay.
My computer's having problems.
All right. Well, guys, we will see you after the game on Saturday. How about those Chiefs? Well, that was a great one, Mel.
I can't, like, I'm delayed, so it would have been horrible.